Thanks for staying with us. Convicted multiple murderer Enoch Ndou has been sentenced to life imprisonment plus 90 years by the Thohoyandou High Court in Limpopo. Ndou was found guilty of shooting and killing 7 members of his family on Christmas Day in 2021. The shooting followed a family dispute over the ownership of his late father's home. Judge Thohoyandou High was scathing when delivering the sentence, and he said the accused showed no remorse and never once tried to reach out to the family and apologize for his actions. The sentences will run concurrently. Let's stay with us now and speak to Pimani Baloyi, a SABC News reporter who's been tracking the story for us. Pimani, good afternoon to you. Thank you so much for your time. We've been seeing quite a number of outbursts during the trial and even his bail applications when he's been showing up in court. How did Ndou react today to the sentencing?
Greetings, Bongiwe, and good evening to our viewers. You are right, Bongiwe. We've seen a number of outbursts throughout the trial and even during the bail application process. And we also saw during the initial judgment, Ndou reacting. Bongiwe, the reaction was quite emotional, and it looks like Mr. Ndou actually has triggering words that would trigger a certain reaction. The first one that we saw today was the use of the word often, when the judge was talking about the sole survivor of this incident. As you rightfully stated, Bongiwe, in that household on that fateful the 25th of December in 2021, there were 5 children sleeping with Ndou, his brother Mpo, and the wife Portia also around. So after shooting and killing Mpo, Portia, and Ndou, he went to this bedroom where 5 children were sleeping, and he shot and killed 4 of them, leaving 1 other child. It was not clear, there was no evidence to show if he was deliberate in leaving that child or if he missed him by mistake. But we do know evidence given in court was that Ndou was quite fond of that specific child. So today, when the judge mentioned that child that he survived and that he is now an orphan due to Mr. Ndou's action, Mr. Ndou's first outburst started there, stating that his exact words were, "Who is not an orphan?" And we do know from evidence that was brought in court, Mr. Ndou himself lost his father at a very early age, and we were told his mother left him and went to marry elsewhere. So it appears Mr. Ndou sees himself as an orphan, and that word was quite triggering, and he went on talking for a lengthy period on top of the judge as the judge continued handing down that sentence. But the second trigger for Mr. Ndou was when the judge said the killing of Mr. Mpondo was premeditated, stating that Mr. Ndou had pre-planned to kill Mpo. He had even confessed to other people in and around. This is evidence that was said in court, that he had spoken to some neighbors that he wants Mpo and his family to move out, and if Mpo does not voluntarily move out, he would kill him for his father's homestead. So the judge saying it shows that he had pre-planned this murder. With the others, he could easily say he just continued shooting, but with the first one with Mpo, it was pre-planned. And Mr. Ndou had his second outburst stating, "What do you mean premeditated?" He was screaming, "It's a shame. The judiciary system in South Africa is a shame." So those are some of the reactions that we got from Ndou. But as you know, Bongiwe, we can't necessarily go and interview him because we do not want to have a trial by the media. The only things we could pick up were just his outburst and him reacting quite emotionally. But these are emotions we've seen throughout. He would have all these outbursts, and we do know Mr. Ndou at the beginning of this trial did apply, stating that number 1, he's not mentally fit to be tried, but number 2, he wasn't in a good mental condition during the commission of the crimes. We know these are 2 applications that court ruled against, which is why he was tried and which is why he is currently being held criminally liable for that action that saw the loss of these 7 lives, Bongiwe.
And Pimani, I see him in the dock, right, turning and removing his mask and speaking to some people. Were there any family members? Do we know who some of those people were?
Bongiwe, the most heartbreaking part of this story is that everybody is related to everyone. The accused is related to the families of the victims. You know, the bereaved families that are heartbroken over this loss are also his immediate family members. So you are right, Bongiwe. Periodically, Mr. Ndou would take off his mask and look back and try to communicate. These are the mother of some of the deceased, the grandparents of some of the deceased, and also these are his aunts, his cousins, his brothers and sisters, his nephews and nieces that he is trying to reach out to, but we've seen them being uninterested in speaking to him. We've even questioned them about it, all of them saying they believe this is just an act that he's putting on, it's a show that he's putting on for the camera. They actually believe his intention is to support his initial application that is not mentally fit to stand this trial. So they say periodically he would put on an act to prove that argument, but they don't buy it. And for them, the main concern is throughout since 2021, he's never once reached out to anyone. Even their main concern was when the 7 were shot and killed, the family had to run around and find the funds to do this funeral service. And Mr. Ndou, as it was stated in court, he's somebody who worked and he had money. He had about 17 properties and about 7 vehicles. They say he did not even offer a cent for the burial services, while they had to go and borrow money and ensure that there were decent funeral services for the deceased. So for them, the fact that he never once reached out to anyone other than him turning back in court and trying to act as if he was talking to them, it shows that he has no remorse. And their biggest fear, Bongiwe, is that he might come out on parole and he might also kill other family members, because they say he's proven that he is capable of killing them as a family. So their fear is that should he come out at any point, he might also commit a similar crime.
Pimani, thank you so much for wrapping that for us. Appreciate it. That's my colleague, the SABC News reporter, Pimani Baloyi.